Welcome back to the 128KB podcast. We are back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
He got it right this time.
I can speak sometimes.
And that demand is so lacking that this week we're sat across the table from each other.
Oh, again?
Yeah. This
good.
isn't a Zoom podcast. This is in the flesh.
Oh, yes.
This is your weekly dose of all things gaming.
It is indeed.
And once again, we've got a bee in our bonnet.
Oh, always.
But before I get on to what's bothering me, they already know because it's in the title.
Is it?
Yeah, and the thumbnail.
Yes.
Future them know.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But I just want to ask you, how's your week in gaming been?
Yeah, good. Been playing Stellar Blade, of course.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yes, loving a bit of the Stellar Blade.
Yeah, and also some Fallout 4 on Steam Deck,
Now it's verified and you fixed it.
Yeah, which, we've got video on if you're struggling on the Steam Deck OLED specifically.
Yeah, because Bethesda do what Bethesda do best.
And break stuff.
Yeah. They're like the Limp Bizkit of game development.
Say that. They really are.
Break stuff.
Yeah, I think Fred Durst might be the head of,
Shit, that makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, so Bethesda came along and went, do you know what? Next gen update.
That's it, yeah.
We're going to screw over the guys at Fallout London.
Yeah, that's it.
Who cares about a big mod that's taken 3 years to make, or whatever it's been? Hundreds of hours.
No.
Nah, we're going to patch it so that doesn't work. And we'll break it on Steam Deck. Now it's verified.
Exactly. It
Verification
sounds like
breaking.
sounds like a plan.
Classic Bethesda
So whilst
move.
Todd Howard's been off doing the TV show, they've got Fred Durst in.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
It's all making sense.
We should break stuff. That's not all you've been playing, though.
No.
No, we've been playing games together.
Oh, we have been.
We've
Yes.
been Fallout 76 in together.
And a little bit of Remnant, but then we kind of went over to Fallout 76.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back to Remnant, to be honest.
I do as well, yeah.
It was nice jumping back into the Fallout world, but Fallout 76 is
A bit slow in co-op.
bit slow in co-op.
You can't do the quests together.
Can't do the quests together.
What
You
are
can
you
join
playing
other
at?
people's quests, but it doesn't tick it off on your achievements. Really annoying. I don't like building bases. I've never bothered building bases on any of the Fallout games.
No.
Didn't bother in Starfield.
No.
So that bit of it, I'm not interested in.
I just want to play games together. And then when you're having to solo each bloody mission.
Yeah, it's fun. I love playing co-op games.
Yeah, me too. But it's not great, is it?
No. And right, okay, this is totally off piste, as I knew we would get you straight away. But what is the deal in Fallout 76 with the VATS system just doing nothing?
What is the deal with the VAT system and how it triggers? I'm not seeing any bar anywhere.
Oh, it works off your AP.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I figured that out the other night.
Oh, I hadn't figured that out.
I forgot to tell you.
Oh, cheers.
Just keeping it to myself.
Yeah. No, it's all right because on mine, I've got quite a high perception or whatever. So it like actually targets limbs.
Yeah.
So if you do it and then you shoot, like blow the leg off or whatever, so then they can't like run at you. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just found it just never seems to work when I want it to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of
I
pointless.
only ever want it to work when you've got like really fast creatures attacking you.
Yeah.
Like flying creatures or like mole rats that are sprinting at you and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're too quick for it.
Yeah, but that's because it's online. It can't do the classic like and slow
That's
down.
what I want it to
I know,
do.
yeah. You want the Matrix style, so you can go boom and like pick it off. Yeah, I'd love that, but yeah,
Spam.
exactly.
Yeah, watch it.
Sadly, it doesn't work like that.
No, it is a shame. It's kind of cool. Co-op games are great fun. It's nice playing online co-op games. You and Christina, and Temperance has been joining in
as well. Yeah,
channel member.
Yes.
What I think I might do at some point is kind of open it up on the channel membership Discord.
Yeah.
Like if you're on
and about,
come and join. Quite good. Quite good fun actually.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, on games that support it for
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
But I think we're maybe looking at Diablo 4 next as our next co-op to play
season
together.
4.
Yeah.
Yes, coming soon.
I think that might be quite good fun.
It will be great because I love Diablo.
Yeah. I've not played it, so
You need to.
I'll be an expert straight away, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't die all the time.
We'll see.
If Remnant 2 is anything to go by, I was more of a burden than a help in that.
It's funny though.
Yeah,
like, it was
it's
funny.
hilarious.
20 times round on the boss was fun.
Rolling off the map each time. Oh, I died. How? I fell off the map.
Each and every time. And the only time we got past it was the one time you survived.
It's because I carry you all. That's all it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you know what else I like doing though?
Yeah, what?
Is paying way too much money for games.
Brilliant segue.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what we're here to talk about.
Yes.
Yes, I've got a bee in my bonnet about AAA games at release being massively overpriced, and not necessarily the headline price of like, oh, it's $70, £70.
Yeah.
Kind of go, okay, that's what games cost now. It's
Yeah.
more the annoyance, I'm looking at Ubisoft primarily.
Always you, Ubisoft.
Goddamn Ubisoft.
Always looking at you.
Hey. When they have like ultimate editions and add-ons that don't really give you anything.
And then they charge you 10 times as much for.
They're double the price.
Literally,
the ultimate edition's $130.
Why?
Compared to 70.
Why?
It's like almost double the price. To the point now where I fully believe you shouldn't buy a AAA game at release at all, especially single player ones.
Yeah, like what's with specifically Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws?
That is what made me think about it. Star Wars Outlaws pricing has been announced.
It's a single player game.
Yes.
It's not. I understand for like Call of Duty where the hardcore fans want to pay top dollar, get in early or whatever, get extra perks, get a leg up on the Game Pass. You know, like I get that. You know, whatever they call it. Is it Game Pass? I don't know.
Season Pass.
Season Pass, is it? Thinking of Xbox. But, you know, but with a single player game, why would you spend 140 quid, 130 quid, whatever it is, $140, I don't know, for a single player experience, and you get to play it 3 days early? That gives you no advantage over the game. Just wait 3 days.
Yeah.
And okay, it gives you access to like 2 DLCs.
This is the
What?
This is the thing I don't like, and it's a kind of worrying trend that Ubisoft are really, I mean, they're in the crosshairs for it in my book. But they've introduced this worrying language all of a sudden back into single player games. We've not seen it for a long time. Season Pass.
Yeah.
That is a live service thing.
Yeah. I expect it for Call of Duty or any kind of online kind of game.
This season, which means obviously this month or couple of months, there is this theme happening. There's these achievements in it, these skins, these weapons, whatever it is that's in that game that you can only get in this season.
Yeah, so play it now.
Buy the pass and you can unlock these things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how a live service game works. We used to see season pass stuff in single player games like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they've started to kind of creep it back into the single, and the Star Wars Outlaws is kind of I'm seeing it there. All it is, like you said, early access to the game, 3 days.
Great.
On a single player game, there is no point unless you are mega fan.
Yeah. I get that.
Huge mega fan. I can't wait to jump back into the story.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the 128 KB bingo card here.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I was waiting for that one.
But that's a game that's got a cult following.
Yeah.
I can understand. People want to get there as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I get
Early access maybe would have been a thing there. Star Wars Outlaws. That's tricky.
I mean, it's Star Wars, isn't it? And that's what they're trying to ride off of.
It's Star Wars, but it's a whole brand new entry into the Star Wars canon, as it were. So it's not going to have a diehard fan base yet.
No.
So it's weird.
They're counting on just the Star Wars name.
Yeah,
that's what they're counting on.
Yeah.
You know, but I just don't get it. Like, why would you pay that much?
So you've got that for early access, and then you have DLC content included in this Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, which is 2 DLCs specifically.
So they're putting the DLC behind a paywall day one. Is what they're saying.
Yeah.
That, in my mind, is a little bit criminal.
Yeah,
$130.
I just don't get it. Why? I miss games where you'd pay like $50, $60, $70 for a game and the whole game's included.
Wow, what a great thing. And then maybe a couple of months' time, the developers are going, special announcement, guys, we've got added content coming.
Yes.
For £10, it's a DLC.
Yeah.
You can download this added content. You're
exactly.
like, oh, sweet, count me in.
I've already completed the game.
Yes.
I wasn't aware there was going to be a DLC.
Yes.
You know, I'm so into this right now. Yes, I'll get that DLC. Not releasing or announcing DLC before they've even made it.
Right. Because the whole point of like DLCs is that it's added things to the narrative, the single player experience.
Usually coming after
you've completed it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what you're saying is if I buy the full price game, the $70 game, I'm not getting the whole game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this DLC stuff should have come later, but now it's available to people that are paying twice the amount.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting the full game.
No.
They are. And to get the full game, I have to spend $130.
That's exactly what happened with Square with Chocobo Racing.
Yes.
They announced that. I thought it looked great. I love Mario Kart.
Yeah,
you know, I love kart races.
Yeah.
So Christina was like, that looks cool, let's get it. So we bought it at release on Switch, and you literally put the game in. It should have been free to play.
Definitely.
And there was a free to play option, but even the paid one, you still had to pay for the season. So I was like, what? Like, I'm not even getting anything for having the paid version here.
No.
And I don't know how many months it was, 6 months, maybe 12 months later, they realized that everyone hated on them for that. So they just shut it down. They went, nah, okay, fine. If you bought it, just have all of it. And they just basically everything that was behind a paywall, they just included in the base game, as it should have been when they released it.
I bet they didn't refund the people that had paid.
No, I didn't get a refund.
Amount of people that would have.
Oh, for the actual content. Nah, of course they wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's kind of criminal.
It's bad, isn't it? Like, you expect to pay for a game and get the content.
Yeah.
Or make it free to play, and then you can buy it in dribs and drabs as you want.
There's a few reasons why I'm pinning my flag to the mast of my advice to game consumers now is just don't bother buying it at launch. Just wait.
Yes.
First one in my mind is the inevitable bugs that are going to be in this at launch.
Yeah.
So you're paying a premium to get this day one.
Yeah, and
I guarantee it's going to be broken in some way.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be performance issues of some kind.
Yep.
They may be minor, like we saw in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
They may be game breaking,
Yeah.
like we've seen in countless games. I guarantee that'll be a problem and that they'll have to patch it. So you'll be not only paying a premium but punished for having it day one to have a lesser experience.
Exactly. You're playing it, whereas they'll probably patch it out in a week, maybe the first few days. But if you're early accessing it for 3 days, plus you've got to wait, let's say, another 3 days for a patch, that's 6 days in. If you're that hardcore that you've spent that money, you're probably most of the way through a playthrough, right? So you've just paid to have a lesser experience. Like, why?
Again, I'll go back to the 128 KB bingo card.
Oh yeah.
Final Fantasy Rebirth. Obviously, I pre-ordered that, which we advise against as well. We seem to pre-order a lot of games recently.
Don't pre-order.
Apart from the games you really want to play.
Don't do early access. Just do all the ones you want to do.
And because I no-lifed it, I smashed it. No-lifed it. I'd got to like the very end of that game, and they released a performance patch that fixed the thing that was really annoying me in the game. I was like, I'm not going to go back and bother, but I'm glad everyone else gets to enjoy it.
But that's the annoying thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that really bugs me. You know, like it's so frustrating when you actually are really into a game. You've made that effort, and you almost are punished by it. Whereas if you just waited, got it on sale or something, you'd be getting a better experience.
The next reason why I'd say don't buy games at launch, especially like the Ultimate Editions, is the early access thing for a single player game is probably the most irrelevant thing in existence.
It's literally just a buzzword to get your money. Like, that's all it is.
It literally is.
That's all it is. There's no reason. On like an online game, I get it.
Because the experience changes over time.
Yeah, exactly. But also it gives you a leg up. If it's a PvP game, you know, you're going to have 3 days head start over everyone else. You're going to have better gear. You're going to have a higher level, and you're actually going to win because you're above everyone else. In a single player game, who are you playing against?
Yourself.
Exactly.
It's a narrative. The story is written.
Yeah.
So you're playing the same story. If I play it in a year's time or I play it today, I'm playing the same story.
Yeah.
Just, if it's in a year's time, going off what we've just said, we know it will be the optimum experience because they would have patched out all the problems.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So you're going to be paying a premium to play a lesser experience, but play the same story as everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't get it either. I mean, if it was like a month early, like 30 days early access, then fair enough, because there'll be people that have really looked forward to that game for X amount of time, years, months, whatever, and that probably just want to support you anyway because they love your content or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Your games. Then I get it. What's that? Early access.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think you've really got to read the room for the publishers like Ubisoft. Really have to read the room on the audience for that game, because there's certain games, like I was saying a minute ago with Final Fantasy, there's certain games that have a cult following.
Yeah.
And I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'd go, maybe Spider-Man 2 would have been like that.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man was such a big thing, and it's just Spider-Man 2 PS5. It's going to be...
Not the only PS5 game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Pretty only PS5. I'd understand it. Maybe even, despite the fact it was a flop, Starfield would have been like that, because it was so highly anticipated.
Yeah. They had an early access thing, didn't they?
So they did, yeah. So those kind of games, I get it. But when it's a brand new entry, and I'm not sure there is as much hype around Star Wars Outlaws as Ubisoft are anticipating. There's definitely not after this announcement of the pricing.
No.
The backlash is insane on it.
I don't know why I expected any less from Ubisoft. You know,
Yeah.
I for some reason, ever since we saw the first trailer, I was like, this looks amazing. I still think it looks great. Like
It
you know,
does. It's not taken away from it.
No, it looks amazing. But in my head, I'm like, 70 quid, dollars, whatever,
Yeah, okay.
like top price end for a game. That's it.
Yeah.
And in my head, that's it. Like it's just a full price AAA game done. And then when it's like, yeah, you could spend like £3 million. And it was like, what? Like, why? It's a single player game. Like I said, I totally get it for online games. I do get it, even though that's a rip on its own.
Yeah.
That's a different story because I understand that. But for a single player game,
Day one,
why?
that's that day one DLC thing. I'm like, that is awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Pre-orders I get. Like pre-order bonuses.
Yeah.
Get this skin.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've pre-ordered it, you're supporting us, whatever.
Got this special weapon.
Yeah, I've got this cool
ship,
weapon.
whatever it is.
Then cool. I
Yeah.
get that. But the price is the same.
Yes.
You know, like that's what I like.
Yeah.
You know, come and support us by buying it early before you know it. You know, don't pre-order games, but
But don't worry, okay? So there is the added benefit with the Ultimate Edition of Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh yeah. Tell me about that.
You
AJ.
get an art book.
Do you get, let me say, is it physical or digital?
I don't know. They haven't specified.
Probably digital.
Shh. You get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
In
You
an
get it.
email.
You get a PDF in an
Yes,
email that you
and
can
you're
flick
never
through.
going to look at.
Never going to look at
You
it.
probably never even download it.
No.
The license will expire when you realise you want to look at it. Literally, that's probably what will
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't get it.
Again, there's a lot of games that have like Ultimate Editions of
Yeah.
some kind, collector's editions.
Yeah.
They'll almost always come with a bundle. There'll be a limited edition case. It'll come in a weird box. It'll
Yes.
have-
Steelbook edition.
yeah, think
Yeah.
about like the Pip-Boy that came with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
You know, like there was like
Yeah. But
big things.
those are like, special editions or
Yeah.
limited editions, not just like.
You had the watch that came with the Starfield one, the
Yes.
Constellation
Yeah,
watch. And stuff.
yeah.
It came in like a
Yeah.
briefcase.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
the-
crazy money, those. Isn't it?
yeah, crazy money. But for the diehard collectors,
Yeah, you get something.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Get something. I'm paying 3 times the amount, but I'm getting some physical cool things.
Exactly. You've got something to stick on your display shelf, you know,
Yes.
like, but when you're just getting 2 imaginary DLCs that they haven't even started on yet,
Nonsense.
3 days early access and a couple of skins, like,
Yeah.
why would I pay that much?
The other part of don't buy these games early is the motorbike that's going off outside.
That's Ubisoft right now. They're
coming to get us.
They're here, you know. Fred Durst's out there.
He's
Like,
breaking stuff. That's the. I want to break stuff tonight.
he's heard about the podcast.
He's here to break in.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I was going to say, the other reason not to pre-order games, especially, not to do Ultimate Edition games, day one purchases, especially when they're doing this day one DLC, absolute nonsense, is I guarantee you, in 6 months' time,
Oh, yes.
when Christmas comes,
Yeah.
there'll be Star Wars Outlaws
Yes.
Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
And it'll bundle everything together.
Everything in.
And it'll be the same price as the
It was at
basic
launch.
game at launch.
Yeah.
Unless,
Always.
unless Ubisoft carry on their cash grab, which I don't believe will happen.
Of course.
I
they
don't
will.
believe will happen with that because I fully predict this game to hit flop hard.
Really? You think it's
'Cause of
going to
the
flop because of the
pricing.
pricing?
Because
It's
it's
still got
Ubisoft.
a basic entry point though, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, it's got the basic entry point, but it's also the same company that released Skull and Bones.
I thought, when you said about pinning it to the mast earlier, I thought that you were going
That's just
to
gonna go Skull and Bones on it.
Yeah.
I think the backlash from this is quite violent. I don't think there's going to be a surge of people day one purchasing it. So they're going to have to do
I
something
don't
to
know.
reignite it.
I think there's going to be a big surge at the beginning for the bottom entry point, like the
Yeah.
cheapest entry, just standard game.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to do well. It looks fantastic.
Looks fun.
It's Star Wars,
Yeah.
I think it's going to do well. I want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely do. Didn't care for Skull and Bones and stuff like that. But I feel that you're right, that come a complete edition, how it should be released.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 to 12 months later.
the full game.
Yeah. Here's the actual game.
Yeah.
That will do well.
Yes.
Because like you said, why would you pay to test out all their bugs, pay over the odds for less content? They're already telling you that you're missing out on content.
Yes, that's the thing that really annoys me.
Unless you pay twice.
Yeah.
Like, pay twice. Why?
That's the
Like,
bit that I think's the actual, like, that's the piss take,
yeah,
really. It's
yeah,
like,
it is. Yeah,
we've got these other bits to the game
Yeah.
that we're keeping behind a paywall.
yeah. What?
It's the game's just launched. What do you mean?
It is annoying. And then what bugs me as well is that when you've got the base edition game and when the complete edition comes later, they'll say just upgrade for $25. It's like, yeah, but I've already spent full price.
But I can get it. I can get the whole game full price for that.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
I've already paid that.
Yeah.
For my original edition.
I should just get it.
I should just get it for free, which is what Skyrim did. Like,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
Fred Durst was there. You know,
He was breaking stuff.
and he went, whilst I'm breaking stuff, let's just give it to him for free.
Yeah.
So because I already owned the original Skyrim edition on Steam in 2011, because I built a PC for that game, right?
After melting a PC for that game.
No, that came after. But yeah, so I had Skyrim at launch, and then just one day I had an email or something going, oh, by the way, you've got like Game of the Year edition now with all of every DLC and everything else for free because you own the original. So, oh,
that's a cool
cheers.
move. That's a cool
like,
move.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, I've got it on my Steam Deck. You know, that's great. But people like Ubisoft would be like, just give us some more money.
I worry, okay, the current state of like the game industry. I get this feeling that the bigger companies are really struggling.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I just feel like Ubisoft are always down for the money.
They're down for the money, yeah.
They
and
don't
that's
give
kind
a
of where I was
crap.
getting at, is that they're struggling with kind of underperforming sales on a lot of titles.
Yeah.
They rely on like re-releasing big franchises again and again, sequels to franchises again and again.
Yeah, I get you.
And a lot of the big developments they've spent huge amounts of money, like big budgets on, aren't performing as well as
Skull
they
and
should.
Bones.
Skull and Bones is a great example.
That
of
must
it.
be a serious flop for them.
They must have lost a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of money on that game.
And it's a shame, isn't
But
it?
they'll try. I was going to say they'll try and make up for it.
Yeah,
by doubling down on charging more
on other stuff, which is a shame because they've released my favorite game of the year currently, which is Prince of Persia: Lost Crown.
Great example
I love
of what we're
that
just
game.
saying, though.
Yeah,
a phenomenal game.
Yeah,
it would have had a really low budget to produce because it's not like hugely technical.
It's not a AAA game like as such. You know, it's a 2.5D Metroidvania.
But even that really undersold.
Exactly,
compared to their expectations.
and that's a real shame because as much as Ubisoft, they do a lot of stuff that annoys me. That game is phenomenal.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a phenomenal game, and it underperformed.
Yeah,
that should be like the best-selling game that they've made for years. It's far better than anything they've made in a long time. You know, it really, really is. Stunning game, fantastic.
It's beautiful, plays beautiful,
and they didn't release like 20 editions for that. It's just there you go, basic like game, you know. And then it didn't do so well, and that's a shame. And yeah, okay, it's a Metroidvania. Who cares? But I love it.
I mean, we're going to hit hard on Ubisoft only because they've announced this thing with Star Wars Outlaws this week.
Well, and it's not the first time that they're doing
exactly
it. Yeah,
that.
they've just done it over and over again. You know,
is this problem as prevalent outside of PlayStation and Xbox? Do we see it with Nintendo in the same way?
I can't think of any Nintendo like stuff. Even third-party games where you have to pay like 3 different times.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know for certain there's Nintendo games that come with collector's editions.
Yeah.
I think of like Bayonetta did.
Yeah, but that's different because
it came with a whole like, art book.
The whole
and
game's
stuff.
on the cart.
Exactly. Right,
You're just getting extra.
Yeah.
You know, so
other things.
I'm all for that. I bought the collector's edition.
Yeah, if
I
you
bought
love it, then
bought
do
the
it.
collector's edition for Metroid Dread.
But they didn't have like Bayonetta and then the Bayonetta Ultimate Edition that had added levels.
No, of course not.
Because players would kick off.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
And as a player, as gamers, people that love games ourselves, I see this nefarious activity of hiding parts of a single player game behind paywalls and go, that takes the mick.
Yeah. To me, when there's pre-announced DLCs, what they've done is they're selling you an incomplete game.
Yes.
So that they can then fix it later. Yeah. And that's what bugs me
they
about
could have
all
been
of this.
as ambiguous as like Bethesda were with Starfield saying, we plan to support this game for the longest time, for another year, for another 3 years, whatever it is. And that will give you enough of a hint to go, they might add bits to this game later on.
Yeah.
And what an awesome surprise it is in 6 months when there's the Jabba the Hutt edition, whatever it is called.
Yeah.
And it's like, these added missions have just opened up. It's a whole new part of the storyline.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft will probably be Ubisoft in those situations and go, it's 20 quid.
Yeah.
If I really love the game, I'll probably pay for it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But if I don't, then I won't. I can't think of any Nintendo games that do it. So what I'm thinking,
I can't think of any. I
Yeah.
literally cannot think of any. Specifically, directly from Nintendo, they don't do that. They just don't. You
No.
know, the only thing I can think of is Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
But you've got to bear in mind that game's 10 years old. And they added all these extras
10
like
years old.
10 years later.
And it wasn't the only thing you were paying for.
No, exactly, yeah.
It was Nintendo Switch Online Expanded Edition, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Which is a subscription, and you get access to
To it, yeah.
all those other kind of online games as well.
Yeah.
All those emulated games.
So that's just a perk. That's how it
Yes.
should be.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the game's been complete for 10 years, but let's add more to it.
Yeah.
Not let's, before we've even released the game, tell you that it's incomplete and charge you more for it.
It's awful behaviour.
Yeah, it is terrible behaviour. That's like getting a sandwich and going, pay me twice as much. I'll give you half now.
Yeah.
And then when I got the rest of the stock in 6 months,
Yeah.
I'll give you the rest of the sandwich.
Yeah. But it's even worse than that. It's not like in 6 months. It's like, I could give you the rest of the sandwich now, but you have to pay twice.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because at least they like, you go, oh, if I come back in 6 months, I'll have another half a sandwich.
Yeah.
Great analogy. I like sandwiches.
I like sandwiches.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah, why buy it at launch when I know there's going to be a bundled edition coming up?
Yes. Yeah. They always do that, though.
And there's no incentive to jump in early, as we've said, because it's a narrative game, single player. And why are they creeping back in that horrible language?
Yeah, into a single player game.
Season pass.
I don't know why. Why do you need a season pass in, again, I keep saying this, I totally understand, in a multiplayer game, but we don't need season pass in single player games. We need complete packages, you know? And again, what they did with Lost Crown was complete. Yes, they're actually adding some stuff, but it was like boss mode and like, do you know what I mean? Like stuff you would expect from a Metroidvania. It's not like whole new content that they never introduced in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
It just bugs me when it's a company that big, which is why they're doing it. Because they want to milk it.
Because they want to milk it.
Like so hard.
And I feel like because of the failures and the kind of deflated game industry in general at the moment, if I feel like Ubisoft in particular are just, rather than trying to do more to get players in and be more kind of giving, investing in the kind of people, it's more, how do we get more money out of these existing players that are there?
That's what it is, yeah.
So they're doubling down on that kind of exploitation almost.
Yeah.
So that's quite a damning word to throw at them. But I think the primary upsetting thing for us is when we saw that first trailer, I kind of think what development direct it was.
It was in either the like PlayStation thing or the Xbox one. It was one or the other.
Yeah, it was one of the big ones, isn't it? When we saw it in the first blush, we were both so hyped for that
we were
game.
stunned. You know, we did a whole podcast about it.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Whenever that was, it was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks stunning.
Yeah.
And never once in my mind did it like cross my mind that, oh yeah, you'll be paying twice for that.
Twice for it at launch.
What? Like, no.
No, I probably won't.
No, I won't. Like, I want to play it, but I'll be paying as least amount as I can, you know? I'll be buying the cheapest way possible.
Yeah, I say to you in the audience, and I don't care if Ubisoft hear this, go on CD keys. Find it cheap. If you're lucky enough to play on like Steam Deck or PC or whatever, don't bother.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the thing that's upsetting, as I was going to say. I was so excited for this game.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off.
A proper open world Star Wars game.
Yeah.
That you can traverse between land and space.
Yeah.
That's why we were hyped when Starfield was announced, because it kind of promised that, maybe under-delivered, but it promised that idea, and that's what was exciting about it. It's that, but in the Star Wars universe, and you're getting to play as a character type that you don't normally get to experience as well. You're a rogue, aren't you, of some kind?
You're a scoundrel.
Scoundrel, that's
like
it.
Ubisoft. Bunch of scoundrels.
Yeah, they are scoundrels. Yeah, but you know, there was a lot that was really exciting about that. There was going to be awesome kind of space fight, like the dogfights in space. That looked really cool.
Yeah,
you're gonna be interacting on the ground and fighting, and like it's a whole different experience of Star Wars. And Star Wars games, there's a lot that are rubbish.
Yeah. And
there's some that are amazing.
Yeah, and they're really old.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we need something decent to come.
And when you get the amazing ones, it's an unreal experience.
Oh, yeah.
Squadron, what's it called?
Oh, Rogue Squadrons. Yeah.
That's great.
Well, it's just called Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah.
I mean, that, again, flopped.
Sales wise.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's a great fun game though. It looks it looks beautiful on the Steam Deck, by the
it's
way.
mainly on the Steam Deck. It just looks amazing on the OLED.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like £2 or something.
Yeah. But to have that excitement
yeah,
kind of taken away from you, it's like, I didn't want to anticipate it again from Ubisoft, but once again, I'm in that place. I've got this idea, right, for one of the podcast episodes that I've had in my list of notes for ages that I keep avoiding. And it just says, everyone hates games, right? And I have to really check myself because I have to not go to that place of just jumping on the bandwagon that everyone seems to, of just complaining about games all the time.
Yeah, and expecting things to be perfect.
So every time I've got an idea of or something irks me, I'm like, check yourself against that because I don't want to be complaining all the time.
Yeah.
But stuff like this happens and I can't help it.
Yeah, but this is rational because this isn't even anything to do with the game. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just greedy devs, and maybe they are underperforming. They're just trying to claw it back, like you said, through other means. Prince of Persia didn't do so well. Oh, let's just double the price of Star Wars. Make some more money,
Skull and Bones lost a load of money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably why they're doing it, But the sad thing is that collector's editions were a thing where you actually got something in return.
Yes.
Now you're seeing digital editions that have a couple of days early access, and for what? You're paying money that you could have bought a collector's edition and got a statue with or something that you could display. I've got Elder Scrolls Online, for example. Every time they did a DLC, a big expansion, you could buy that and you get a freaking 12-inch statue in the box, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's worthwhile if you were into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you don't get anything for your money.
Yeah, so I don't know, Andy. I don't want to keep ranting about it because I feel like I'm just angry. But
I am angry.
Yeah, it does annoy me. It's stolen my excitement for the game.
It's frustrating.
And it just reminds me that this kind of awful kind of money grab exists in this thing that we love.
It makes me want to boycott it.
Yes.
And then buy the complete edition 6 to 12 months later.
But the frustration inside is I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm going to play it at launch.
I'm going to buy it day one.
Yeah,
I'm going to get sucked into it.
Yeah.
And I just hope it's good enough to at least live up to a £70 price point. Bear in mind, this is the company, Ubisoft, who said Skull and Bones was a quadruple A game. That expression doesn't even exist. So I don't know where it came from.
No.
But it's an AAA game.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's done so well that it's in the trash.
AAA in the bin.
Who was it? There was a dev, a big company that laughed at them for that. They said if their game is a 4 times A, a quadruple A, then they're 5 times A. Do you know what I mean? And they said that in an interview or something. I can't remember who it was, but I found that really funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's hilarious.
It would be like them coming up. Sometimes when you get like Game of the Year editions or the game comes out after the Metacritic reviews and stuff come out. And they'll sometimes put little snippets of the blurbs of reviews, 9 out of 10, IGN.
Yeah, and there's all the little symbols around.
It's the equivalent of, rather than using quotes, making it up themselves.
Yeah, just
sticking it all over.
How many A's can you put on there? Loads.
My mum says it's fantastic.
yeah.
I really like this.
Yeah.
Ubisoft CEO.
Yeah. Pay more now. Thank you.
I'm so glad I bought the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
Ubisoft Finance Department.
Said nobody ever.
Yeah. Thanks for the money, Ubisoft shareholders.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It just frustrates me. I just don't get why it's going that route. Do you know what I mean? And if games are becoming too expensive to develop,
I think that might be the problem.
Then they need to do something about it, do something different.
I honestly think that might be one of the problems, is that the development costs of AAA games now, or quadruple A
games in Ubisoft's case,
is getting out of hand for them to be able to manage compared to the return.
Yeah, because in the past you could get a massively successful game with not much effort.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're having to pour huge amounts of money in for a potential flop.
Yeah.
Like Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you've just spent hundreds of millions on a game that doesn't get any return?
Now it's of the size of the same budgets of big movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's serious money now.
Yeah.
And they have to get that money back somehow. And as we've spoke about before, the inflation in game prices hasn't happened. If you look at the prices of games compared to inflation over time,
Absolutely, yeah.
it hasn't happened.
No.
I've seen clippings from like old toy catalogs and stuff, and you've got like SNES games at $80 in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like this.
I've got Doom
Yeah.
on floppy disk. It was Doom 2, actually. So I've got the actual full-on cardboard box. It's half disintegrated, but it's still there. And Abe's Odyssey as well in a cardboard box.
Such a good game.
Yeah. And the Doom one specifically, still got the receipt from W.H. Smith's in 1995 or something. It was £59.99 here in the UK. So that's nearly
£60.
So it's like
$80?
$80. And that was
On floppy disk.
on floppy disk. That was like nearly 30 years ago.
Is it on one floppy disk?
No, there's loads of them.
All right, okay.
There's loads of them. Yeah, there's loads of discs. I don't even know what's going on with it, but yeah, it was my brother's.
So like 60 quid
Yeah,
30 years ago.
yeah.
And now we're talking about like the best games being £70.
Yeah.
So actually, in line with inflation, a lot less.
Yeah. And they cost crikey loads more.
So much more to make.
Like 100 times more than they probably did 30
So
years ago.
maybe the economics of it are broken. Maybe games should cost £130.
Yeah.
The thing with that is, firstly, it breaks the psychological barrier in everyone's mind when games get really expensive.
Yeah.
But if that was, and we all just got along with it and went, game's £100 now.
Yeah.
And we just got used to it. I would be fine with it if that was the price of the game and you got everything in it.
Yeah.
There was no like hidden nonsense.
It just came complete.
If they came out and went, Star Wars Outlaws, we believe is the greatest game ever made.
Yeah.
But at release it's £100.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
And then they promise you there's no microtransactions,
none of the
there's
season
no
passes.
DLC
You're getting
currently.
this huge game.
Yeah, exactly.
All of this stuff, it's £100.
Yeah.
Yes, you would have friction against that, but also you'd be like, well, it's promising to be all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can make a choice, basically, whether you want to play it or not.
Yeah.
But instead, you can pay half the amount, the full price of a game, and get, I guess, half the game, 3/4 of the game included.
I think that's what it should be. It should be like donation. And you it's like an energy meter. The more money you put in, the more you get.
That's basically what they're doing.
No, but you can choose any amount.
Yeah,
so you pay like £3.
You just get a demo.
And you get the demo. Yeah, okay. And then if you put like, say, 10 quid in, you get the first chapter. You just keep slotting, you know.
Like 15 quid.
Yeah.
They include one of the cutscenes.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. One outfit. Yeah. Okay. Go for it. And until you lock the full game.
Yeah.
And then if you keep going, because you go crazy, then you can get all the other crap that they give after it.
I worry with it because if you don't have the huge publishers, you don't have the huge games.
Yeah.
And if they only focus on the ones that are definitely going to make money, you're going to get a lot of remakes, a lot of remasters, a lot of reboots inside a franchise. So like Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, it gets a bit repetitive.
Yeah.
Boring.
Or half-baked online games like Skull and Bones.
Just live service games.
Which I was talking to Christina last night going, why? Like, you know, we were playing Contrast, I think it's called, on Xbox. It's like an old game from like 10 years ago by the people that did it was with me and now it's gone.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But anyway, we were playing this game, Contrast, and I was like, that is so cool. It's real cool art style, really cool story. It's a puzzle platforming game, you know, and it's like really simple.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is really cool. It's setting the scene. It properly gets you into the story, but you're doing all these puzzles to get bits and bobs and to progress the story. And I was like, I loved it when games were made by companies that gave a crap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where they actually were like, you know what, I like this concept.
Yeah.
And okay, it's a small studio, but they poured their heart into it. And it wasn't just a money-making pumping machine, you know? Whereas now, everyone's like, live service only because I'm going to make loads of money. Half of them just shut down because they're crap. Because they don't have any passion in. No one had an idea and went, yay, like, I really believe this.
Let's run with this cool idea.
Yeah, this is it. No, they go, look at the checkbook. We could have some of this. And so they just make something crap, you know? And that's the sad thing is that's the time we're in now. Yeah. Everyone's focusing on how can we reap and harvest all of everyone's money as opposed to actually make something worthwhile and give them an experience they're going to enjoy, which then they might want to buy a DLC or buy some merch or a statue or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I think a good example of that is Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
That feels like a production that's been done out of like the joy of making it.
Yeah.
Like the love of, yes, they're going to make money off it eventually. But I mean, the whole, when you see like the behind the scenes and stuff, there's some videos on YouTube behind the scenes of the studio. The whole thing feels like we like this style.
Yeah.
We like this style of game.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's have fun with it.
And that's what
it plays like.
Yeah, and it was their first ever console game. They're a phone game company.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, let's just make a game for consoles, you know? And they're doing better than Ubisoft and companies like that are like past their peak.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like they hit the top and then just plateaued. And
Got
now they're
too
just
big.
Yeah, and now they're just trying to keep in that money coming.
Does that concern you for games like GTA 6? Like the Rockstar, because Rockstar are that size, aren't they? You know.
Yeah, and they've been doing the same thing. They've been milking everyone for the past 10 years on GTA 5.
Yeah.
And not giving them anything.
Yeah.
Like, here's GTA Online in 2014 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And let's just make billions from it and not do anything. Like, you just run around and have fun.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, great. Cheers, Rockstar.
Does worry me.
Do you remember when Rockstar made games? Like, actually made games, not just GTA. Do you remember when they like made loads of games and they released one every year?
Yeah.
It's difficult to remember because it was a long time ago.
That's part of that thing of like why games seem like they need to be more expensive, is that they get bigger and bigger. They seem like for some reason, they feel like they need to make them bigger, more technically marvelous somehow, a bigger open world to explore. Like when I hear people talking about GTA 6, the most common thing I see talked about is how big the map's going to be.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that's a good thing.
No.
It is interesting in of itself. This huge map, that's interesting, but it doesn't make it a good game.
No, it doesn't automatically make it good. No, absolutely not.
We've talked about it a lot. Like open world games aren't necessarily better.
Yes. Yeah.
GTA and like you think like Red Dead as well, like another big franchise. Yes, they kind of thrive on the fact that it's a living, breathing world, but it doesn't necessarily make it better that it's bigger. And I think about Red Dead in particular is a good example of it. The main part of the story we play as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead 2 is amazing. It's alive.
Yeah.
There's loads to do.
Yeah.
When you get to the prologue, when you're playing as John, the whole of like the desert area opens up. That bit sucks.
Yeah, it's not as good. Nowhere near as good.
And so now you have like a map that's twice the size.
Yeah.
Half of it's empty.
Yeah, it's like an afterthought. Almost.
It's like just because it's bigger doesn't mean it's better.
No, and I get it. It's like a dessert.
Yeah, it's a desert. Okay.
So I don't know. I feel the same way. What will get me with GTA is if they do this.
What, like the DLC thing?
Yeah, pay $70 for the full game.
I think they will. I think it might become a trend.
Yeah,
and that's what's annoying and what's worrying. I'd rather they were just up front. Game like GTA 6, everyone's going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
They just went, it's £100.
Yeah, I was just about to say, pick one price.
Yep.
Stick with it.
Yep.
Give it everything included.
Yes.
And be done with it.
Yeah.
And then if you do a GTA 6 online, give it a couple of years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then do it.
You make all your money off that.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't like this whole triple pricing structure bollocks. Like, it's rubbish. Yeah. It's utterly rubbish.
Ubisoft could have done the same thing that Rockstar did with GTA 5 and potentially made a Star Wars Outlaws online.
Yeah.
If they wanted to like cash cow it.
Yeah.
Like in this development. We could do this cool one-player game and make it an awesome concentrated narrative thing. It's just a full price game and maybe do some DLCs and stuff later on. But if we really want to make money from it, then maybe... I'm surprised more haven't copied that model because it worked really well for Rockstar.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
anyway. I'm going round and round, and I read the pricing structure for it that Ubisoft announced. I got annoyed. I looked at some of the comments online. Everyone else was annoyed too, and I was like, I've got to talk about it because I'm annoyed.
It is annoying though. It's just annoying. I don't like it.
Yeah, and for me, it's mainly that hiding parts of the game behind a paywall for a single player game. So don't buy these big games at launch.
But that's probably why I enjoy the slightly smaller games. Yeah. Stuff like Metroidvanias and stuff, you know, like The Lost Crown. Yeah. Because you know what you're getting. You're going to get the whole game, you know? Yeah. And that's the thing with all the Nintendo games and stuff. They are all there. Yeah. You know, and that's what I like. You pay your price. You get what you promised. Yeah. You know? So, I don't know.
Yeah, no. I just think I'll go back to that advice at the start, or the question at least at the start. Should you buy these big AAA games at launch? And I think unless you're obsessed with the idea of playing with it, don't.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Because you'll get a better experience and a cheaper one a little bit later on. But it'd be better than those people that had to pay a premium at the start.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know I've ranted a lot, and I'm sorry. I got on my soapbox. I couldn't stop me. Yeah, let us know in your comments, though, if you agree or maybe disagree. And that's cool. You can disagree. I just won't listen to you.
No, but let us know,
Yes.
and any other titles that spring to your mind that this has annoyed you about or that you fell for or whatever.
And not just Ubisoft ones, but primarily Ubisoft.
Yeah, not just Ubisoft, but definitely Ubisoft.
Definitely all Ubisoft.
Can't wait to see the new Assassin's Creed when that has 4 different pricing options.
Almost certainly.
That's what they said they were quadruple A.
Yes.
They're just going to change how many price points there is.
£70 for each A. That
That's what it is.
now.
Yeah.
Got it.
There we go. Yes.
If you got to the deep end with us and you're listening on Spotify or any of the other podcast places, please do rate the show. It really does help us out. Maybe share it with a friend who likes gaming as well and wants to look at or listen to our faces and voices.
You can listen to my face.
Listen to Andy's face and watch my voice.
Yeah.
Yes, that way around.
One of those.
If you're on YouTube, hello. You can see us.
Yes.
You can listen to our faces.
Yes, you have been listening to our face.
Please do like the video.
Yes.
Join in the comments below. If you're not subscribed yet, do.
Yes.
Because we want this to be bigger and better than ever. And we want more people
Absolutely.
here to join in with this conversation. It's a little weird community we've
And
got.
if you love us,
Talking of community.
then pay, do an Ubisoft and pay multiple times.
We'll hide more content behind a paywall.
Oh my God. Are we Ubisoft? I think we are. So we've just done an
so
Ubisoft.
hypocritical.
So if you want to pay for additional content, what you can do is become a member. And that will gain you access to our private, paid, members-only Discord. And also, you'll get...
it's less than 70 quid.
You'll also get members-only videos as well.
Added content, and you get to join in our Discord.
Yes.
So you can pay to talk to us. It's 99p, okay?
Oh,
It bought Andy a bacon sandwich today.
it did, yeah. It was really nice.
Nice,
Thank you.
there you go. So on that bombshell, until next time.
Goodbye from Ubisoft.